Welcome back to the Gweilo 60 channel. Today we're going to be talking about all of the predictions, well, all of the bad things that have been predicted about China and who is predicting them, and how stupid it is, I guess, is basically what I'm going to be getting at here. Back in 1990 to 2017. I'm going to put this on the screen, and these are all of the news media outlets that have said 1990, The Economist, China's economy has come to a halt. 1996, The Economist again. The Bank of Canada, likelihood of a hard landing for Chinese economy. This is 1999, guys. This is when everything was just going through the roof. It's ridiculous. You know, 2008, Forbes, hard landing on China. 2012, American Interest, dismal economic news from China, a hard landing. And right up to, this goes to 2017, the national interest, is China's economy going to crash? They've been predicting crashes throughout history on China. It's a politician thing. It's a mainstream media thing. Just recently, I don't know what, a couple of years ago, we were doing some videos up around the Three Gorges Dam area, and the floods were going crazy, and China had too much water, and the Three Gorges Dam was going to fail. It's going to break, and it's going to devastate communities all the way down, and you know, and all through that time period. Social media was all over it. You know, China's infrastructure wasn't good enough. The dam is, satellite pictures of the dam is, you know, and all of this stuff. Too much water. What are we going to do? Their world is going to end. But now, fast forward to today. Now it's like China has no water. There's a drought. You know, so it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter which way things go. They'll find something bad about China, whether they're doing good, have lots of water, or drought, have less water. If their economy is great, they're saying it's going to crash. When the economy is having a downturn, they're saying, see, we told you, it's crashing. You know, it really doesn't matter. One way or the other, they're going to make China and the Chinese people look bad in the eyes of the citizens of their country, because you can't have a China that has a better infrastructure, a better education system, better research and development in computer chips. Now they're scrapping over that. That's for another video. But you get my drift here. What says Taiwan News, expert warns China's Three Gorges Dam is in danger of collapse. And this goes back to June 22nd of 2020. I'll put it back here so you guys can see it too. Maybe I'll even put it up front. I don't know. But, you know, the idea, natural disasters, as water crests, Three Gorges Dam crisis puts 400 million at risk. This is a couple of years ago, and has anything happened? No. Has the rhetoric stopped? No, they just changed from one thing to another, to another, to another, to try to make, again here, China's Three Gorges Dam could collapse, experts warn. So, you know, it just keeps on going on, and it doesn't matter. Okay, now, because there's a drought going on in China, but then there's a drought going on in the United States too. Have you seen Lake Mead? How it's just about emptied out. Like, and this is a Colorado River. This comes out of the mountains, guys. This is big stuff in the United States. That whole area you're looking at, you know, Nevada, Arizona, Southern California. All of them basically survive on the water that comes down the Colorado River, and Lake Mead is a big part of that. But when the drought hits China, well, it's devastating. It's like, holy smokes, the Chinese world is going to collapse because there's a drought. There's no water. Because there's no water in the rivers. This takes away the power dams and whatever. So you don't have as much power being generated through the rivers and the dams and such. So now they have a power shortage, so they start using more coal. So now China's using more coal, more pollution, and they don't tell you about the windmill farms that are huge in Gansu province. They don't tell you about the offshore wind farms that they've got that are just amazingly huge. They don't tell you about the solar that they've got there. They don't tell you about the nuclear reactors and how many nuclear reactors they're building. I think they're building 21. I think they're building more nuclear reactors in China at this point than all of the rest of the world put together. So, you know, rather than pointing their fingers and saying, look at the United States and they're going to be used, they don't have as much power as they used to. They've got rolling blackouts. What the Chinese do is they look into the future. They've got, you know, 5, 10, 50-year plans. They know what's going on. They know that they've got problems, and they know that they have to fix these problems. And they do long-term goals to actually fix this stuff. And that's where the wind farms come in. That's where the solar comes in. That's where the nuclear reactors come in. That's where planning and good governance comes in. And they don't worry about what's happening over in the United States. They just worry about what's happening in their country, and they make it better. Are they there yet? No. But are they getting there faster than anybody else around the world? Oh, definitely they are. Oh, let's not forget Evergrande and the housing bubble and how this is going to affect the entire country of China, and this is how this is going to devastate, I tell you, devastate the Chinese economy, and the Chinese RMB is going to, yuan, to you people that don't know what RMB is going to collapse, and Evergrande was a big company. There's no doubt about that. It hurt the Chinese economy. There's no doubt about that. I think it was March, they had $400 billion worth of debt. Good chunk of change, boys, eh? Like, holy smokes, $400 billion worth of debt. And I think that's based on American dollars. But then by April, they had cleaned up enough that they only owed $300 billion. So within a month, they had come up with enough cash to pay off $100 billion US dollars on their debt. Okay, well that's great. You say, well, what's happening as we speak right now with Evergrande? Well, they started building again because when they got low on cash, certain projects stopped being built. And they had a cash flow problem. Well, I think that's all over because they've started building again. You know, the construction on most everything is back to normal, and they're moving forward. But if you watch the social media outlets out there, they'll tell you anything and everything bad about China, but they'll tell you that Evergrande is this, and the Chinese economy is going to collapse, and the Three Gorges Dam is going to collapse, and they're going to run out of water, and their economy is going to fail. Like, what's that Chang guy? He even wrote a book about it, how it's going to fail. But you see, we've seen over and over and over that people out there, the mainstream media in the West, the social media of the West, the politicians of the West, they've always been saying the same rhetoric over and over and over again. Conspiracy theorists and predictions of the future of what China's going to be and how it's going to be. But they only look at the bad stuff, and they'll pick little things here and little things there that may have happened in China. No doubt, bad things happen anywhere in the world, but they'll pick these little things and they'll make it. They'll paint the whole country with the same brush, and because this happened here, it's universal in China that this happens everywhere. It's you know, it's stupidity. But a lot of people that watch YouTube videos like this one here will believe this rhetoric, will believe the bullshit that's being fed them, and you know, not question it. I don't blame you. Your politicians have been telling you this for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, even more. Your mainstream media news has been telling you the same thing. for the same time period, because it's all about the politics and whatever. Social media, oh, they've jumped on the bandwagon because there's money there. There's more haters. If you put out videos hating China, well, you'll get more views, you'll get more subscribers, and you'll make more money. So those guys are only out there for the money. They don't care. What's this? China has already lost the space race. It's in the bag. There's China, you might as well just go home and give up. And this is a video that went out, and it's just full of bullshit by an unnamed turd. Did I say that out loud? Okay, whatever. But the idea that China was kicked out of the space station, the International Space Station. They can't go there. They're no longer a part of it. So what did China do? They built their own space station. Now the International Space Station is going to be decommissioned, and the Chinese space station is the only one going to be out there. The Chinese have landed on the dark side of the moon. They brought back a new mineral from the moon. You know, the idea that they've lost the space race, I don't think the Chinese are even looking at it as a space race. I think that they just do what they do, and they like to build things. They like to explore new things. But when you're listening to all of this rhetoric out there about the space race and the floods and the droughts and the economic woes of China and how everything's going to just collapse down around them. Look at what they've done over the last 30 years. They've brought 800 million people out of poverty. They've built 40,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. I think the United States has about 52 kilometers, and it's not really high-speed rail. They've got the airports, they've got the roads, they've got the hospitals, they've got the high-rises. They have the second largest economy, and that's per dollar. But if you took the parity of the dollar to the yen and what they can buy in their own country with that, they're well ahead of the United States at this point. But you can see that they don't attack Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has human rights abuses on a regular basis, and everybody knows that. Why don't they attack Saudi Arabia? Well, because Saudi Arabia is on the west side. Okay, yeah, of course they're going to be nice to Saudi Arabia. Japan, the same thing. Well, Japan's on the west side, so they don't attack for human rights abuses or alleged human rights abuses. But we see what they do with Xinjiang and the Uyghur people and all of this stuff. And yes, I had my last video was sort of snipped at the start there. They turned it 18 plus. They took the advertising away. They put warnings all over it, and I think it's because of the background was maybe a little bit too risky for YouTube. But you know, it's nothing more than what the kids on TV watch on the news. But you see, that news isn't about America doing bad things and China doing good things. That news is about China doing bad things and America doing good things. So is YouTube more likely to nix that than if it was the other way around? Oh, definitely. I believe that to be true. But as I say, when you're looking at China, look at the good, not just the bad. There's bad in all countries and there's good in all countries, but look at what China has done over the last 30 years. Look at how they've expanded their influence, economic influence around the world. Their military is getting bigger. The lives of the people in their country is getting better. Their competition now, where they used to be just this little economic blip on the radar over there somewhere, now they're in competition. Computers, and well, they're in competition all around the world because of Belt and Road Initiative. But you'll see that when it's on social media or in the mainstream media or talking to politicians in the West, well, it's a debt trap. for all of these countries that are on the Belt and Road Initiative, and they owe China their lives, and China's going to take, you know what I mean? There's good and bad, but they'll only show you the bad. They won't show you the good. They won't show you all of the great things that China's done, is doing, and will do in the future. And I guess that's what this video is about. Think about it. And that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit a bell, because I put this at the beginning of a video here not too long ago, and I said, check, if you're a subscriber, check to see if you're still subscribed. I had lots of people say, hey, they unsubscribed me. I didn't even know. So resubscribe, hit the bell, throw a comment in there, and put a couple bucks in the Patreon account. It helps. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye now.